If you can improve your brain, you can become everything. If you're not ready to die for this one thing called purpose, you're not yet ready to live.
What would you say to someone who has failed now?
Uh-huh.
Like failed high school, failed something big?
Failure is the fuel. Yeah. Everyone has to fail in the process. So if you are not failing, it means you're too perfect for this world. We don't go through problems. We grow through problems. Strive to be on top in life because the bottom is always overcrowded. You don't need to sleep in a full tummy only to wake up with an empty brain. The more you discover your strengths, the lesser the people would ask for your CV. In fact, the lesser they will ask for your academic qualifications, and they'll say, okay, we want your value. Dead people are at times more richer than the people that are alive. That's very unfortunate. Don't allow yourself to die before you die. Some people are chasing money, which is unfair.
Why?
It's unfair. You don't need to chase money. You just need to.
Welcome to another edition of Mindset Profits. I am on my tour. The tour is happening. I am shooting in Zimbabwe with a very good brother, Mr. Jonah Nyoni, who is a speaker and author of a couple of books. I've got two of them here. Speak Like a Pro, by the man, yours truly, and Leadership Agility. So I got told about him by a very dear friend and follower of the podcast, and she said, you have to speak to Jonah. You cannot leave Zimbabwe without speaking to Jonah. So, Jonah, you're here. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Dando, for being in Zimbabwe, and we're so excited to be welcoming you to this, our great nation.
Excited, man. I'm happy that Mindset Profits is finally here. So, your story is interesting. I listened to a video that you shot some time ago, and you're saying you grew up in one of the poorest places in Zimbabwe, but you reworked your mindset. You've done a lot of work on yourself
Yep.
to live the life you live now.
Yep.
A speaker that gets invited internationally. That's amazing, brother.
Yeah, so my story is exciting. I usually say we grew up in a poor family, that even the poor, you have to call us poor. It therefore means you're stinkingly and threateningly poor. But I decided, John, I have nothing to lose other than going for what you want in life. So I made a clear decision of who I want to be and where I want to go in life. So I had to make a decision despite all the vicissitudes, despite all the hardships, despite all the challenges, despite all the limitations that we had financially and otherwise. So I said, Jonah, what you need to do is just to now focus on what you can possibly do. And that emanated from my brain. So everyone that's listening to Ntando's podcast, the issue is about the brain power. If you can use your brain, think yourself out of your
You
situation.
become limitless.
Yeah, true.
Let's give people some context. Where did you grow up?
So basically, I grew up in a beautiful district
Yeah.
called Binga. In that district, I still remember clearly, we used to head some people's cattle, not our own cattle.
Or you were heading people's cattle.
Yeah, just to get the next penny. I still remember we would go to school without food in our tummy. So literally at times we'd go hungry. I still remember I would walk. I usually say, it's better to walk without shoes.
Okay.
I'll tell you the reason why. So now I do size 8 of my shoe. That's my normal size. But because my feet had freedom of expression, so now I do size 9. So that's the issue. But for me, that's not the worst thing to ever happen to an individual. The worst thing that I ever encountered was to go to school without an underwear. Yeah, it's better to walk to school.
But bro,
without shoes.
why would that be terrible? Because no one can see.
No one can see, but I know. And it means a lot to me, to my confidence and everything that's happening in my body. So that's the kind of an environment that we grew up in. My family, my father, they would fight tooth and nail to make things work for us. I still remember this other time I was in Form 2, I started working for the school that I lent at because my parents could not pay for school fees. So at Form 2, I literally started to work for the school so that they pay for my school fees.
What were you doing?
So we were fencing the school. literally doing the fencing of that school, cutting logs. But I was young,
Oh.
so I was working with people that were older than me. So you realize that I started work very early, and that as a principle taught me something. You have to work hard for you to get whatever you want in life. I think that's the underlying effect of in my life. So I grew up in Binga. It's a beautiful place in Zimbabwe.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there were
It's a rural place.
yeah, it's in the rural Zimbabwe,
Mm.
close to Wangi or Wange or Victoria Falls.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I did the bulk of my education from grade 3 to form 2. Yeah.
Tell me something, bro.
Mhm.
Looking at the education that you were getting,
Mhm.
was it a school so good that it gave you the launchpad, or you feel there were weaknesses?
Basically, I could say they gave me the basics that I needed in life.
Mm.
I usually say in my seminars that if your parents or your school can give you the ability just to read, the ability just to be literate enough, I think you can get anywhere in life. I'll tell you the reason why. So my parents could only afford to pay for my school fees up to Form 4, which is ordinary level here in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
So thereafter, they said, go into town and look for a job. Just imagine, I have no career that I've built,
Mm-hmm.
but still my dreams, I wanted to go for A level. I wanted to do a degree, but my parents did not have that money. So I came into town. Some people would say, I still remember someone on radio the other day, they called me, they said, Jonah, you're lying. I said, no, this is my story. I can't edit my history. I still remember I would do manual jobs, like literally going to carry quarry for builders. I still remember
Okay.
this other time I worked for almost a year as a security guard. I still
Okay.
remember one of the hotels that I won't mention on your podcast. At night, I was the security guy manning the hotel because there was a big event. But in my heart of hearts, I said, Jonah, you know what? You can smell the food that's coming from the hotel, but you're not tasting it. Jonah, you can see people that are dressed in executive and exquisite suits, but that's not your current situation. Your current situation is telling you you are poor and you're low. But I said in my heart of hearts, Jonah, you know what? The next time I'll be coming here, I'll be coming to stand on the podium and I'll be one of the speakers. That was the dream. So the
Okay.
issue was I've been dreaming since. So
Did it happen?
it's happening now. I sleep in 5-star hotels. I fly all over the globe. So if I tell people my story, they'll say, Jonah, probably you're lying. No, I'm not lying, guys. This is my real story. That's how I grew up. So after I was done with my O level, I came into Bulawayo. They said, go and look for a job. And I did all those jobs that were not comfortable enough. But that discomfort was not only discomfort. We don't go through problems, we grow through problems. So I was growing
Very
through in
well.
the process. So what I did was I wanted to go to A level. And I wanted to go to A level like every other kid because I wanted to go to university.
Yeah.
So I went to Mpopoma High School, which is one of the Bulawayo schools here. God bless that teacher. He gave me a list of books that they did in English literature for A level. That's the only subject that I could do. That was
Okay.
loved the subject. They just gave me the syllabus and then they said, yeah, the list of books. I got the list and then I started borrowing books from other students. As I went to my job as a security guard, I'll be reading my book. So I read myself into
Or
this
you were still
one.
security during
Yeah.
that time?
So I read this subject only, English literature, for my A level.
Okay.
And I got 2 points alone, not teacher. But I said, no, Jonah, you don't need to stop here. So there was an opportunity now. It was through maturity entry of sorts.
Didn't you feel this was failure though? It could have put the brakes on you in school.
I felt like it's okay that I went through that because it was building the bigger story.
Mm.
And I feel through the process, I was being polished to become who I am. Now I can really understand anyone who doesn't have a meal and someone who's sleeping in a 5-star hotel. And I can relate both worlds. And I know how to appreciate both without judging them.
What would
Yeah.
you say to someone who has failed now?
Uh-huh.
Like failed high school, failed something big.
Yeah. So
The dream is slipping away.
failure is the fuel.
Mm.
Yeah. Everyone has to fail in the process. So if you are not failing, it means you're too perfect for this world. For me, I've failed a dozen times, but I usually say if I go to the gym today, there are two things that should happen. Say that I should fall and faint, or the machine should break because I don't give up. That's me. So in other terms, we're simply saying you have to grind the machine until it breaks on your muscles. If it doesn't break,
So you're not leaving until you feel something.
I'm not leaving until I'm the one. I'm not leaving until I'm the rock star. I'm not leaving until I'm at the top. You know, I love a guy called Norman Vincent Peale. He says, strive to be on top in life because the bottom is always overcrowded. So the dream is just to go to the top and become impactful and help someone become who they were really created to be. I think that's the big dream.
How were
for
you
me.
in school? Were you a student?
Yeah, so my story is a funny story. I still remember there was a time when I was top 5 of the bottom list.
Or top 5 of the bottom?
So that was too painful. I still remember I wasn't a smart student. I wasn't one of those academically talented students,
Uh-huh.
but I fight harder. So when I was in Form 3 now, I think maturity had kicked in.
Yeah.
I was dreaming. I would say, Jonah, you need to go to university. Jonah, you need to attain this life that you want. But if you don't work hard, you won't get to the top. So I started studying properly. That's when I still remember I got to position number 3 out of a class probably of 45. I said, now,
Also, you
it
went
means
from top 5 at the
oh,
bottom to top 5.
Yeah. So I said, okay, so it means if I put more effort into this, I can become. So I still remember Form 3, I got position. Now I'm in Matole South Beja Secondary School. I get position 3. I said, wow, I had never had such an opportunity. I said, okay, so if I push harder, I can become. So I still remember for my O level, they were not so good of grades, but for me that was a plus because I got my 5 C's and 3 B's. So for me that was a plus because I had never really passed to that level. So
I guess for you, the message becomes even with the 5 C's and the P's, you didn't get A's.
no, I didn't
No
get
A at all.
No.
But now you're flying internationally.
Yeah. So
And speaking to the A's.
yeah. So that's the exciting part. So what I did immediately when I came to town, I did my one subject for A level, which was not a good pass. When I turned 24, I now had the opportunity to get into a university for late entry. So I was 24 already, so that was too late. So I went to Zimbabwe Open University. I started a degree in media studies. When I was done with the media studies degree, then the world opened to me. I was told, Jonah, with this degree, you can go and enroll in any other university around Zimbabwe and the world. When I was done after 4 years, so it means 24, I finished my first degree at 29. That was too late. Other kids are holding PhDs already. So I had to go for my other second degree, a special honors in communication, same university, right? So after that, I said, okay, Jonah, you can go for your master's. I went for my master's in business leadership with another local university. When I done my second master, I feel, Jonah, I'm still hungry. I need another one. So I had to do another master's in strategic communications with the University of, with NAST, National University of Science and Technology.
Yeah.
So now I'm working towards my PhD. Someone might
Why
be
are
saying,
you piling on all of these?
You know what? The Bible.
I'm not one to judge. I'm doing a PhD as well, but
So,
I'm curious what you.
Why am I piling this? I think my embryonic stage, my foundational stage wasn't as good. So I'm trying to make up for everything that I lost in the process. So I'm enjoying it in the process because it's enlarging my mind. I love the Bible. Can I quote a Bible? You know, I love Ecclesiastes 10 verse 10 in NIV version. It says, you know what, if the X is down, more effort is needed. But skill gives us success. So it therefore means I need to be constantly improving my mind. In psychology, there's what we call neuroplasticity. Let me break that down. Neuro means brain.
Yeah.
Plasticity means flexibility or malleability.
Straight.
It means this is one area of your body you can improve constantly every day. So what it means, I'm going for more to become better here. If I can become better in my mind, I can get whatever I want in my life. I'm not piling this for the sake of having and acquiring an education. No, I want to be well informed on what an organization should do. It could be from a communications point of view, or it could be from a leadership point of view. I need to be well informed and it here to take me through to go through that process.
Okay.
So for me, it's not about education, because I've seen smart people, the smartest of people are not going anywhere in life. So it's all about you improving your mind. If you can improve your brain, you can become everything. You know, I love a guy called Albert Einstein. I love quotes,
Yeah.
quotes. I'm a reader. So he says, imagination is everything. It is the preview to life's forthcoming attractions. Meaning, if you can imagine it, you can have it. So for me to imagine things, I just need to be constantly improving this part of my planet called the brain. If I can improve my brain, I can become better. You know,
Is that the core message you teach and speak about?
so the core message I speak and teach about is leadership and purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the two topics.
Why do they stand
Yeah,
out?
so you know, I've got a strong belief that God, when was creating men, He created us for a particular reason. That's purpose. So I love it when the Bible says in verse 26 of chapter 1 of Genesis, God said, "Let us create men in our image, after our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over everything that creepeth upon the face of the earth." So the underlined word for me that I love so much is the word dominion. The word dominion is taken from the word dominus. That word, its etymology is dominus, and its synonyms are influence, mastery, control, power. So God gave us power to go on earth and become impactful. So God is calling us to a level where we need to rise up to the level where He says, "Jonah, I've sent you on earth." I usually say people don't die because they are sick.
Okay.
That's my thinking. I might be wrong, but people die because God has seen that your purpose is no longer needed, or you're done with your purpose. So I firmly believe that God sent us on earth for a reason and for a purpose. That's why I'm always talking about this thing. Guys, you need to discover yourself. If you can discover yourself, you can get anywhere in the world. I'm not traveling to the world because I'm an educated guy.
Yeah.
Not when I'm traveling, no one asks my certificate.
Okay.
They don't care about that. They ask about, who is this guy? I didn't say what is this guy. No, is this guy? Meaning, what's your essence? What's your reason for being? If you're not ready to die for this one thing called purpose, you're not yet ready to live.
Or you don't understand what it is,
Yeah.
what the purpose is.
Yeah. If you don't understand the purpose, then you can look for people that can help you, number one, or you can go to the manufacturer and ask from the manufacturer, what am I here for? They will definitely tell you.
Where does it go wrong for so many people then? And I'm looking at your journey from growing up in a rural economy, in the poverty that you described earlier, to speaking in multiple platforms across the world. If you were to give, let's say, your top 5, what would be the top 5 lessons that get someone from there to here, looking at what you've learned?
For me, the best thing I could say out of the top 5 is just to look for the next morsel of information that you need for you to go up.
Principle number 1 is learning.
Learning. Because if you can learn, you can get anything else you want in life. Can I give you a working example?
Yeah.
Let's go back to neuroplasticity. Neuro meaning brain, plasticity means flexibility. If today you have a child, how do they pick your native language?
They just observe,
Yeah,
listen,
they just
try.
observe and pick it. Why? Because their mind is so pliable enough, so flexible to pick vibrations, details, data, and information. So what that means is, if a child, you can take a black African and throw them in China today, they are less than one. They'll speak in Chinese. Take them and throw them in Mexico. They'll do Spanish as though they're born there. Why? Because their brain is able to pick vibrations around them. So what that means, we are being pointed to a level where we just need to be learning. Just seek wisdom. Now I love the Bible once again. The Bible says, the Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. So in thy getting, get wisdom. So it therefore means we need to be constantly improving this other planet called the brain. I can lose my hands, I can lose my feet, I can lose anything else. But if I have not lost my brain, I think I can get anywhere in the world. So my encouragement to everyone that's listening now is you need to be learning every day of your life. I usually say to men, you don't need to sleep in a full tummy only to wake up with an empty brain. That's too painful to every man that's listening.
Don't sleep with a full tummy to wake up tomorrow
with an empty brain. So to women, I usually say, don't wear an expensive hairdo on an empty brain. Meaning, we need to be constantly saying, Jonah, I need to get to the next level. For me to get there, I need to be learning. Where do I learn from? Number one, I learn from books. Number two, obviously, my favorite book, that's the Bible. Number three, from people like Ntando Masego, who has got a podcast and he's bringing people that are going to mentor, advise, and coach you. And, you know, you can learn from those that have gone through the process.
Yeah.
Experiential wisdom. The elderly, you know, I've got elderly friends myself. I intentionally do that. I walk around with elderly men at times.
Yeah.
I'm so strategic in my approach. I know these guys have gone through all the vicissitudes, all the challenges, and all the challenges. So what I simply do is, okay, tell me, if my marriage was to work, what do I need to do, man? We say, don't treat your woman like this. So if I was to have more money, what should I do? Don't do this, do that. I went through that in the process. So in other terms, learn, and learn.
So you've given me two, if I'm tracking.
Yeah.
One is the learning. Seek learning, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And number two is mentorship.
You're right.
Going to those that have gone before us
in
the journey. Those that probably have achieved what you want to achieve.
Exactly.
And then asking.
Yeah.
That becomes the two.
Yeah. Then the third one, in coaching, we have got what we love to call models that we use to coach someone. So I created my personal model. Right. In coaching, you're allowed to create models. So I called it the SIP model, the SIP model. So the most important thing is you need to discover who you are and what you are here for on earth.
Is that self in the S?
So the SIP model stands for, number one, you need to understand your strengths.
Oh, strengths, not self. Okay.
Yeah. So what are your natural endowments, your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your capability? What is that thing you can do without effort? If you can discover that today, you have discovered your strengths.
Okay.
Then you can then improve on that. You know, I love a guy called Zig Ziglar, and one of his books, Steps to the Top. He said, man was designed for accomplishments, engineered for success, and is endowed with seeds of greatness. What that means is every one of us on earth has no excuse but to live their purpose.
Okay.
You know, the worst thing, Tando, was to, let's say, I'm to send my child to the kitchen and say, okay, go and get me a spoon. Right?
Yeah.
Then they bring a plate. It means they're not listening. Or I send them to the kitchen and then they take their time and they don't care. After 2 hours, they bring probably a spoon. It means they were not listening. So what am I saying? In my heart of hearts, I believe that God sent us on earth.
Oh, that's where you're going.
Sent us on earth. But unfortunately, some people have decided, let me not do that which I've been sent to do. Some are simply saying, no, I'm not so sure.
Let me bring something else instead.
Let me bring something else that might be good, but not right. There's a difference. Most people are doing what is good, but not right. So that's the worst thing that could happen to humanity. So,
SIP.
Strengths. You need to understand your strengths. So, ask around, what can I do? Who am I? Where do I need to go? For me, my life is somehow now is just unraveling itself in front of me. When I started, I said, you know what, I want just to be a journalist. I want to be a communications guy. I want to be collecting news. I want to be, I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to be on radio. But as I grew up, I realized, no, that was just the primary stage. I need more. Now I've graduated into books. I've graduated into strategic comms and training corporates. What that means is you can discover the smaller part of your being. But as you grow up, you begin to discover more about yourself, your strengths, power, and endowment. So that's your strengths. Discover your strengths. If you can get that today, most kids in schools, they're struggling with their purpose. They're struggling with who they are. If you can now fine tune, okay, what am I supposed to do? What are my natural strengths? You might be saying, probably, Jonah, I'm a singer. Jonah, I think I love writing. Jonah, I think I love swimming. Jonah, I love tennis. Look for that specific thing. I'm telling you, the Serena Williams today, no one asked for their CV, but their ability to hit that small ball with a racket. Simple. For Tiger Woods, just hitting that ball in golf. So no one is asking for their CV. The more you discover your strengths, the lesser the people would ask for your CV. In fact, the lesser they will ask for your academic qualifications, and they'll say, okay, we want your value into the system. So
You
my
gain
S,
favor we can't explain.
yeah, exactly. So that's my S. Number 2,
I
interest. What ignites your passion? There's that thing that when you are asleep, your brains tell you, I can't sleep until it's done. For Jonah, probably is saying, if an idea comes for writing, I can't sleep until it's probably 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning, scribbling something. Someone might be saying, Jonah, what have you been doing all night long? No, passion is burning me. And that thing, there's one thing that burns all of us, but most people just want to ignore that voice inside us. So if you can discover that thing that gives you juices, that gives you a rush of adrenaline, that thing that you can do the rest of your life without having regret. What is that thing? For me, 2 things. Speaking and writing. These things I can do for life. I don't need anything more. So what are you interested in? What is your passion? What is that thing that burns you?
I get, and I like the principle because I look even at myself. This is it for me. And the thing is, when you find the sweet spot and the thing that you're passionate about,
right?
You don't procrastinate on it. All the other stuff, you gotta
just forget about it.
You will procrastinate all day long. But this is so easy. It comes so naturally. I don't ever feel like procrastinating shooting an interview.
Yeah, true. So in other terms, I'm simply saying, just look for that thing that burns from the inside. If you can work on that, most people want to ignore that voice. Some people are chasing money, which is unfair.
Why?
It's unfair. You don't need to chase money. You just need to chase value. If you chase value, money will follow value. Yeah. So most people will say, John, I'm going to look for the next penny. Where can I get the next rand or the next dollar? No, it's not about chasing money. If you can chase value, I think that's Vusi Tembewayo.
Yeah.
One of the people that I once interviewed just on the brink of COVID in South Africa. He said, you need to be a person of value. When you're a person of value, all other resources will chase you. In other terms, you need to be an attractive person so that you can attract the money you want in life. So the worst thing that this generation has been taught probably is just to say, look for money, which is, for me, we don't need to chase money.
Become a person of value.
Yeah, become a person of value. Then people are willing to pay people that are able to solve problems.
In my head, this becomes principle number 4.
Yeah.
Become a person of value.
Yeah.
That's the reinvention you have to do and work at yourself.
Exactly.
3 was finding your purpose, and that's tied to your SIP model.
Yeah.
But you didn't give us the P.
The P. So my P stands for a number of things. It stands for purpose. It stands for passion. It stands for prize. You can also add your own. So you can add your own P. So my purpose is just look for what we are created to do. God, I think God is specific on that. Look for that. Then look for things that burn you. That's your passion. And also look for one thing that gives you money in the process. Because truly speaking, we need money. Right?
Yeah.
But we shouldn't chase money. So in other terms, you should do something that will also make you to be poor, but to go up. So what's that thing that you do and gives you value? For me, speaking, gives me value. For me, writing gives me value. I'm almost selling a book almost every day in my life. Like, you can't find me broke to the bone, no, because there's value that I'm carrying. So in other terms, seek prize, seek passion, seek purpose. That's my P in the SIP model. Just to recap: S, your strengths; I, interest; then P, purpose, passion, or prize. So if you can look around that, I think it gives you a glimpse of what you can possibly do. But remember, this life, Earl Nutting once said, success is a progressive realization of a worthy idea, meaning we are progressing towards the bigger goal. And the bigger goal is the reason why we were created by God himself.
Explain the statement you said before we wrap with number 5. You
Yeah.
said all men is self-made, but some don't want to
Yeah.
make.
So that statement again is by a guy called L. Nightingale.
Yeah.
He says, all of us are self-made, in his voice. All of us are self-made, but it's only the successful that will admit it. So God created us and put on this planet for a reason. He gave us a powerful weapon called the brain. So in other terms, he gave us the power to cogitate, to think, to create, to imagine, to reason, the intuitive ability, your power to create through the mind. The mic that I'm holding right now is someone's idea, right? The table that we're using here,
Someone's idea.
this is value. So in other terms, all of us are self-made. If you can discover yourself and then work on your being every day of your life, most people just assume we just need to work on ourselves once in a while. No. Successful people, as Mike Maddock once said, successful people do daily what ordinary people do occasionally. In other terms, successful people read daily. What it means, successful people work daily. What it means, they go to the gym every day. If you wanted your muscle to be proper and have a six-pack, what you have to do is just to go to the gym every day and consistently. What that means is it's going to be painful. That's true. To your brain, you're not used to reading a book. Your brain will crack a bit. But the more you go to the gym, I'm telling you, the brain is like a muscle. It grows with the exercise. So in other terms, go back to the gym until the pain becomes normal. In fact, winning is all about pain. If you can master pain, you have mastered success. Most people don't want to hear that. In fact, success is all about doing the ordinary things that ordinary people won't do. I'm telling you, most people out there, can I tell you, Ntan?
Yeah.
Most people probably are watching TV right now.
True.
Our TV as a model, you might be on social media, wasting time and scrolling. But if you gave them a book now, they'll simply say, okay, I'll check on that later. But did you know that $1 million is in the book? Probably by Napoleon Hill, who said, think and grow rich in one of his books. So in other terms, I'm simply saying people want to do easy things and then life will be tough to them. But if you do the tough things, life will be easy. That's what most people don't understand. So in other terms, I'm simply saying, go work hard and become every day, not just once, every day. For me, I'm a reader. I'm like, as I'm speaking right now, I'm carrying a book by a guy called Patrick Lencioni, The Advantage. He's the one who wrote the successful book, The 5 Dysfunctions of Teamwork. So in other terms, that's my current read. I'm reading. I'm just telling myself every month I should just read a book. So it means by a year end, I'll have read 12. Is
Yeah,
that true?
the 5 dysfunctions, that's a pretty neat book.
Yeah, that's
I
a big
read
one.
that one too. What would be principle number 5 as we wrap? But I want you to have someone in mind. There are a lot of people that were, if I'm trying to put it nicely,
Yeah.
cruising through life or sleeping through life, and then you wake up at some point and you are 40 and you realize, geez, I have nothing. Where's all the time gone?
Yeah.
And they say, what do you have for me?
So
And there are many, eh?
Yeah, there are many of those people. In
Yeah.
fact, it's the majority. Can I just give you a statement before we go into that? So Dr. Miles Monroe says, few people make things happen. Many people watch things happen. And the overwhelming majority has no idea about what is happening around them. So that's...
They just wonder what
yeah,
happened.
so that's the painful side of life. But my 5th point will be, if you are to be successful in life, you need for you to know your source. For me, that's the ultimate. Who created you? For what reason? Do you really understand or hear his voice? I know we've got different religions and different beliefs, but for me, it is the Bible. It is the God of the Bible who said, let us create men. For me, that's what I believe. So I believe I've been sent by a higher power on earth to say, Jonah, go and accomplish this. For instance, probably for Mark Zuckerberg was to create Meta.
Yeah.
with all the companies, Facebook, etc., Instagram. Probably for Bill Gates, it's all about Microsoft. That's the reason why everyone has got a computer running a Microsoft software in their offices, and that makes their work seamless. Probably that's the reason why they were sent on earth. For me, if you can get to know the originator of who you are, I think life ceases to be all the stories we hear around us. It's pointed.
And you can recover time lost.
Yeah. Even at 40, I think, who was this guy who started is it KFC? I understand.
65 or something.
Yeah, I think it was just an old chap who knew how to fry chicken around. So for me, if a guy who can fry chicken and is still frying chicken from his grave, let's try to fry our own chickens. I usually say, it's very unfortunate that dead people are at times more richer than the people that are alive. That's very unfortunate.
Because they left businesses that are
They
dominating.
are still running. So in other terms, I'm simply saying, even the Range Rover, the guy who created Range Rover, or Toyota, or Carl Benz, who created the Benz,
They died a long time.
they died a long back, but they're still creating value. So you are alive. What are you creating? That's the big question. So yeah, for me, if you can know God, for me, Ntando, if you know God, why you've been sent on earth, for me, everything. For me, I'm just a believer.
2 questions just dropped.
Yeah.
One, as you speak like this,
Yeah.
how easy is it to motivate people, especially in Zimbabwe, when the economy takes challenges in multiple periods? Because we've had inflation crisis, we've had a number of other crises.
We have had all the inflation, the deflections, the reflection, whatever you call it.
Any economic problem that can hit a country has landed.
I think Zimbabwe is one rich country that has gone through all these experiences. In the process, we know what it means to be poor. In the process, we know what it means to have a challenge. In the process, we're to get the vocabulary that probably most people in the world don't have. In other countries, they don't even know what deflection means. They don't even care because their life is smooth. In Zimbabwe, we had to go through all those problems. But in the process, we were, something was polished in us, for us, through us. We had to go through that so that we grow through that. So in other terms, I'm simply saying, how then do we emerge? How did we emerge? We had to fight harder, work harder, search harder, and have networks that are big enough to become. So in Zimbabwe, the challenges, I usually tell people, the moment you see a challenge, you don't need to see a challenge. Just need to see your money. Because if you can pick a problem, that's where your money is. If you see people that are hungry, look for meal. Look for something for them to eat and find a way of exchanging that food to get their money or to get value from them. So in other terms, I'm simply saying Zimbabwe has been a tough country. I can go anywhere in the world, I can survive.
It won't be as tough.
No, in fact, it's not even as tough because I've gone through all the pain. So in other terms, Zimbabwe is a unique country, but it has got its own advantages as well. It is endowed with a lot of minerals. You think of gold, you think of nickel, you think of all the diamonds are here in the land. So it's a matter of us knowing where to get them from and how to dig. In other terms, minerals, there might be minerals in physical value, but there might be also in allegory. We have got opportunities dotted around us. So the most important factor as a human being is not to see a problem, but is to see the opportunities that are showered as a problem. If you can pick that, then your life becomes better.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Let's do a rundown quick of the books.
Yeah.
Leadership Agility, what is it about?
So,
what should people
in this
expect?
In this book, I interviewed about 18 experts. So,
I see them.
Yeah,
It's them at the back.
Yeah, them at the back. So these experts, initially they were featured in the Newsday newspaper. These include, but not limited to, the big gurus like Vusi Tembekwayo.
I see, Vusi.
Yeah, the likes of Arthur Marara here in Zimbabwe. The likes of the late Dr. Tivani in South Africa was a leadership guru. So these are the people in this book. What that means is I brought all those thoughts verbatim. What it means, you hear their voices in this book, you get to understand what it takes for you to be a leader in our times. I went to them and I asked them basic questions. Guys, how have you been winning in industry and what makes you tick and impactful? So most of the answers are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speak Like a Pro.
Speak Like a Pro is basically a basic public speaking manual. If you want to be a public speaker who makes money through speaking, a better preacher, a better communicator, and a strategic communicator for that matter, you just need this book. This gives you 100 nuggets on how to maneuver yourself on the stage and communicate with other people. So basically, this is a public speaking book.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do see it. What about the? You said you've got another one.
Yeah, so I've got another one. It's called Success Within Reach. This was a collaboration with, is it 14 to 15 authors, where we authored each a chapter in that book to bring one book. And that was our first book. In fact, it made us famous because here in Zimbabwe, we were in every top newspaper that you can talk of.
Okay.
And the likes of Arthur Marara, the top speaker here in Zimbabwe, is also one in that book. Dr. Stem Mahlatini in the United States of America, and a lot more people. So you realize that that book gave us a good launching pad. So we had to be launched into the whole world. So the newspapers were now looking for us, the radios, the TVs. They wanted to interview us because of that book. And in the process, we were poor by then, but now things have changed. Yeah, so in the process, we made money. Yeah, when we started, we're not at this level, but now we have transitioned. Then the other book that I've written is a small book, just the size of Speak Like a Pro, with a collection of quotable quotes. It's called Inspiration for Success. So in this book, this is a read for anyone and everyone.
Yeah, because you've been dropping the quotes.
Yeah, so
throughout this interview. All right, so how do people find them?
Yeah,
you have
so
a website that you sell off.
Yeah, so you can find me almost everywhere on Meta AI, on the internet. Just Google search Jonah Nyoni.
Do you have a website that you sell off?
Yeah, the website is called successlife.co.zw.
All right, so you can drop the website and then we'll put it in the link.
Yeah. So basically, that's where you can get all these our books.
All right. Parting words. What's in your heart for the people?
Yeah. This is one of the toughest questions for every interview. So let me part using someone's words. I love people's words. I'm a reader of Dr. Miles Monroe. He says, the wealthiest place on this earth are not the diamond mines in South Africa. They are not the silver sands in South America. They are not the oil wells in Iraq or Iran, but the wealthiest place are the cemeteries, because in those cemeteries are books that were never written, are poems that were never recited, are businesses that never took effect, are relationships that never saw the light of the day. So in those graves are endowments, talents, gifts that never saw the light of the day. So don't allow yourself to die before you die. So in other terms, I'm simply saying, wake up to your dream, chase after your dream, and become that which God created you to become.
Strong words, brother. Thank you
so much.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for joining us till this time. I will drop a link to the website and his links if you want to check out the books and the other work that he does. But this has been good, man. I'm looking forward to doing more interviews and Zim. You're giving me ideas.
Thank you so much.
At least you know so many people that I could reach out to.
Yeah.
Because I can see all I have to do is buy the book and
I'm
hooked up.
Thank you so much, Tando. Thank you so much.
Thank you.